Hey everyone, Josh and Amy here from CaliforniaThroughMyLens.com. First off, just wanted to say thank you so much for exploring with us this year. It's been incredible to see the growth of the channel and to hear about all the adventures you guys are going on as well.
For this video, we wanted to share our favorite adventures from 2019.
For our first adventure, we went to Joshua Tree during a snowstorm and then drove up to Yosemite for Firefall. My friend Chris told me about the snowstorm happening in Joshua Tree, which is pretty rare, and so I adjusted my trip so I could go over and see it. It was magical to watch the snowfall and to see the area covered in white instead of the normal dry desert. From there, I drove through the night to Yosemite, spent the whole day exploring the valley, and then found a spot to watch the Firefall. It looked like the clouds might come in and ruin it, but we got lucky and got to see the famous sight where the sun reflects off the waterfall and it looks like fire coming down El Capitan. It was a trip I will never forget.
Our second adventure of the year was spending some time in Cambria. Josh and I always love going to the Central Coast, and even though we didn't get to go very much this year, we still got to spend 3 days in the town of Cambria. Cambria is one of our favorite spots because it is a relaxing town with beautiful coastal views and great restaurants. We also got to go to Hearst Castle and finally see the Neptune pool, which neither of us had seen before because of the renovations. Overall, just a really fun trip.
For adventure number 3, it was the time I spent on Route 66 with my dad. My dad and I have been wanting to drive Route 66 for over a decade, and we finally planned it and made it happen in 2019. This trip is only partially in California, but it counts for this list as there's some great spots like Santa Monica, Amboy, and the original McDonald's Museum. I'll be putting up a video on the California portion in the next month or so, and the rest of the states on my other channel. So if you're interested in seeing the entire Route 66 trip, be sure to subscribe to my other channel as well.
Adventure number 4 was the Southern California Super Bloom. In 2019, we got a lot of rain and were blessed with a super bloom of wildflowers, something that doesn't happen very often. While it brought out the worst in people with trampling flowers for their social media photos, it was an incredible thing to see. We went to both Lake Elsinore and Antelope Valley Poppy Reserve, and both were covered in orange as far as the eye could see. It was a pretty amazing experience.
Adventure number 5 was the time at Phantom Falls and Middle McCloud Falls. I was asked to speak at a conference in Northern California, so I went up to the Mount Shasta area to do a few adventures. The first was a visit to Phantom Falls, which is a beautiful seasonal waterfall between Sacramento and Chico. The hike went through cow pastures and then eventually arrived at this stunning waterfall, one of the most unique in California. I also went to the town of McCloud on the same trip and snowshoed to Middle McCloud Falls. It was crazy because I had the entire waterfall to myself, and getting to snowshoe again is always a blast as well.
Our next adventure was our time in Catalina and Long Beach. Josh wanted to make a video on Long Beach, so we spent 3 days exploring some new spots. On our last day, we took the boat over to Catalina, and I always enjoy visiting this fun island. We walked around Avalon, toured the casino, and had ice cream. Not a bad way to spend a day, and I can't wait to go back and spend the night there sometime as well. Also, we found some new spots we really liked in Long Beach.
Adventure number 7 was a trip to South Lake Tahoe to do some hiking. This year I was doing a lot of hiking and I wanted to check off Mount Tallac, which had been on my list since I started the blog. Southwest had a $29 each way sale, so my friend Jared and I flew to Sacramento and drove over to South Lake Tahoe for 2 days. The first day we hiked to Eagle Lake and got caught in a hailstorm, and the second day we hiked Mount Tallac. Both were great hikes in the Lake Tahoe area and highlights for me in 2019.
Our next adventure was our road trip through Redwoods National Park. Redwoods National Park is so far in Northern California that we never seem to make it up there. We made it a point to visit the park in 2019 and spend 4 days driving through the area. Some of the highlights were Tall Trees Grove, Fern Canyon for a second time, and Stout Grove. Honestly, there is so much to do in that area that we can't wait to go back and experience it again.
For my last adventure, I just wanted to put all the hiking I did during the year together. I spent 4 months training to hike rim to rim at the Grand Canyon in 1 day, which you can see a video of in the description, so I did a lot of local hikes to prepare. Some of my favorites were San Bernardino Peak, San Gorgonio, Bighorn Mine, and Switzer Falls, just to name a few. California is full of beautiful places to hike, and I recommend that you get out and explore a few new trails next year as well.
Our last adventure was my time going skydiving. I decided to finally go skydiving, something that I've wanted to do for years. I left Josh at home and met up with some girlfriends to go jump out of a plane in Oceanside. It was the most amazing and indescribable experience I have ever had, and something I thought I would only do once, but I'm already itching to do again.
To end this video, I just want to say a huge thank you for subscribing and exploring with us this year. Last week we passed 100,000 subscribers, something I never thought would happen and one of the coolest accomplishments I had in the 2010 decade. Thank you so much for being a part of that.
Please let us know what your top 3 adventures were in 2019 in the comments below. And to follow along on our other adventures outside of California, click up above here. We'll see you guys in 2020.